Right, so first I want to make the marinade for the chicken. For this I'm going to use these dry Chipotle chillies. They're really smoky, they're fairly hot, but we're just going to use 2 of those. And then what you do is just boil them in a little bit of water. Let's just get a pan. You don't need much water, just to cover the bottom of the pan. Bring them to the boil, and for about 5 minutes the water will take on a lot of the chilli flavour, which we'll use as well, and also the chillies will be nice and soft. We'll be able to blend them into a paste. As well as those, we'll use the zest of a lemon and about probably 3 garlic cloves. I've got a few more here because they're fairly small. But so what I'll do, I've just peeled these already. I'll just slice them just to help help them blend. Okay, so I've got my garlic. Just waiting for the chilli. And what I'll use a food blender mixer. For it. You can do it in a pestle and mortar if you need to, or you could do it with a knife if you haven't got these. It'll just take a little bit longer. But so I just put my garlic in, zest of a lemon. When you're zesting a lemon, you don't want to keep rubbing it all over because you get all the white pith. Just once or twice in each area and get it all off. And just keep checking where you've gone, because if you just keep rubbing at it, you're just going to get all the really bitter pith, and it doesn't help your dish at all. So there's that. Okay. Into that also we'll put some oregano, just about a teaspoon, and then some salt. I'm not going to put any pepper in at this stage. I might do once it's blended and I've tasted it, but because the chillies are quite hot, and then the water that we're boiling it, we're going to use that as well. So we'll see how it tastes when they're boiled. You can see there the chillies. So I've just bringing them rapid boil. It doesn't really matter how fast. Just for about 5 minutes. So you can see already that the water is changing colour. It's taken on all the flavour from the chillies, and also the smell. It's very smoky. It's very rich. So the chillies are done now. So they've gone nice and soft. As you can see, they're just they're not as dry as they were. So what I'll do, I'll just add those into the mixer. I'll just give them a quick cut just to help them blend. And then in there, that's all ready to be blended now. What I'll do, I'll just put these onto the mixer. I'll blend them first so they go into sort of a paste. It doesn't really matter as long as they're sort of broken down well. I'm going to use a bit of the water as well, but I'll just put these on now. So you can see there it's all just blitzed into paste. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a couple of spoons. So let's see, about 4 spoons of the water. Give it another blend. Just scrape down these sides as well. You don't need loads of this marinade, as long as it's enough to sort of cover the chicken, because it's quite a strong flavour anyway. But I'll just give it another blend because the water will just help it. There we go. So that's the marinade. I'm just going to put that in a bowl so you can see it a bit. There we go. So I've just added a little bit of oil to it. This is just going to help it just go a little bit further really, and it'll make it a little bit richer as well. So when you're at this stage, that's done. Just give it a little taste. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to put a little bit more salt in. Okay, so now onto the chicken. This I've just bought this from the supermarket. If you buy it from the butchers, they might cut it for you. Maybe the supermarket will as well. But I'll show you how to cut the spatchcock. It's not too hard at all. First thing you do whenever you buy a chicken, just open it up. So take the string off, and just open it up. Have a look inside. Make sure it's all nice and clean. There's nothing left in there. And just open it up a bit. So what spatchcock is, I'm going to open it out flat. So what I want to do is take off the back and then open it out flat. So before I do that, I'm just going to trim. In fact, now I'm going to leave the wings on. So what you do, you stand it up, and if you look down here, you can sort of see where I'm going to cut. It's just these bits here, and I'm just going to take this middle bit out. Okay, so what you do, you just starting at the top there. Just keep. You can use some scissors for this. Some people find it easier, but if you've got a big knife like this, it doesn't take a lot to get through it. So that's one side, and then the other side, exactly the same. So just straight through. So I've just hit the tip of the wing there. So I'll just come around that a bit. There we go. Okay, so that's that middle bit out. That's good. I just cook those in the freezer, so they're good to keep to make stock with for any sauces that you might make, or risottos, anything like that, soups. I'm just going to trim up in here a little bit. Right, so then to make it lay flat, so obviously, you know, we want it to open out now, but so it lays flat, what you want to do is just in the back here, just in that, there's sort of a little V. All you need to do is just run your knife across it. It'll just go through. I don't know if you can see, but it's just makes a little incision. That will enable you to open it up. So just turn it over and push it down, and that's it. So you just sort of put it so it's all nice and flat. And that's your spatchcock chicken. Now what I do also, just to help the marinade get to the meat, is just a few little incisions across, so you know, a couple on each breast, and across the legs, across there, that sort of thing, just to help the marinade get into it a little bit more. Okay, so I've just got a tray to marinate it in. This can be the same tray that you use to cook it in. And so just place your chicken in there. Okay, and then on with the marinade. So just give it a good pour over. Just make sure that this is cool, because obviously you've boiled the chillies. You don't want to be putting a hot marinade onto a raw chicken. So just make sure it's cooled down. It won't take long with all the other ingredients that you're putting into it. So there we go. It's just. Okay, and then just give it a good rub all into the chicken. Now you can do this, I mean you could cook this straight away really, but ideally you could leave it for, I don't know, anything from 2 hours. Really you could do this overnight, or you could do it first thing in the morning, you know, come back and cook it in the evening. But there you go, so what I do now, just cover that over, stick it in the fridge until you're ready to cook it. Hi, we're back with the chicken now. It's been in the marinade all day. I took it out of the fridge about half an hour ago, just to let it come up to room temperature. It's never a good idea really to cook meat straight out of the fridge. So I've preheated the oven to 200 degrees, and I'm going to cook this for it'll probably take about 30 to 40 minutes. I'll check it in 30 minutes, and then we'll see what it's like then. Okay, it's been half an hour now. It looks like it's getting there. I just wanted to have a look. You can see the chicken's quite moist still. I did baste this, I forgot to say before, but I did sort of halfway through, just tip the pan up, and any of the juices that are around, just give it a baste. But as you can see, I mean, the best way to check is just to stick a fork into sort of the deepest parts of the chicken, and if the juices are running clear, which they nearly are, they're not quite. So what I think I'll do, I'll give this another 10 minutes or so. I like to cook it a bit hotter at 200 degrees. I'm going to put it up to 220 for this last 10 minutes, just so it gets the skin gets a bit more crisp, It's not going to dry out too much in the next 10 minutes. Obviously, I wouldn't want to cook it too hot for too long. But like I was saying before, because the way it's cut, the bones are underneath, and it keeps all of the moisture and the juice in the chicken itself. So it's a really nice way to cook chicken. You can do this. Obviously, you don't need to do this marinade. You could just cook it as it is. If you wanted to roast the chicken, you could put any other dressing on it. You could maybe a lemon and thyme, or you can put a yogurt dressing on these, and it comes out beautiful. But I'll put this in for another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll check it again. There we go, 10 more minutes, and that's just the ticket now. That's nicely cooked. It's got nice brown skin. So what it needs to do now is just rest. So what I'll do, I'll just baste it again, just to get more, get as much flavour into the chicken as possible. And then I'm just going to leave it to rest for probably 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, now's the time really to cook whatever you're having with it. You can cover this with a bit of foil just to keep it warm, but it's really important to let it rest. So I'd usually have this with some chips or some rice or something like that. But that's it really. I'll just in a few minutes, once it's rested, I'll just show you how I cut it to serve it. But obviously, you can do it how you want. You can just pick it, you take it all off the bone. But I just like to cut it into quarters. But yeah, that's it cooked. Just as a little extra, what I like to do is when I've taken the chicken out of the pan, just put the pan onto the hob, and just with just a little splash of water, just that much there, and just scrape everything up, and then just let it reduce down, and then that'll make a nice little sort of sticky sauce to have with it. So again, just reduce it as quick as you can. Really, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's the chicken. So what I like to do, I just cut it into quarters, really. So just straight down the middle, as you can see there. So there shouldn't be any trouble cutting through this now it's cooked. So okay, straight down the middle there. Then sometimes, so you can see there's a lot more breast meat than there is leg. So what you can do is just cut across. So rather than just sort of taking the leg off here and having leg and breast, cut across. So there's a little bit of the breast with the leg. So let's just do that there. So as you can see, they're fairly even sizes now, and the same as the wings just fell off there, but that's not to worry. So again, so maybe just across that sort of size. There we go. Just get that skin on. So that's it. So you've got four generous portions there. I mean, you could get probably six portions out of that, if not more, depending on your appetite. And then we've got the sauce there. So if I just put these, I'll just put these onto a plate just for a minute, so I can show you there. Okay. And then I'm just going to scrape this into the pan. And then I'll show you this. So as you can see, that's it's reduced down, but it'll have a beautiful flavour now, this sauce. You can reduce it down further, it'll get more intense. But yeah, it's really nice. It's quite fiery, but then with the chicken there, it'll go really nicely. So that is it. So again, let's just put that there. So your chicken's there, all cooked, ready to go. If you've got any questions, you can leave a comment below, or over on Facebook or Twitter. It's Mog Food on both. But thanks for watching. Hope it helped.